Hi, Tami. Thank you so much for stopping by the iWeb booth. We're so excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
Tami Ferrero is a founder of Forte Events and has been producing events for over 21 years. Tami, please tell us how you got started.
All by accident.
Really?
I'm a musician by trade, went to school for music, a voice major, and got a job in banking to kind of pay the bills after college. And by accident, they asked me to start doing some events for them.
Oh.
And I just really loved it and found my niche there.
Okay.
And started doing events that were really strategic, that helped companies solve problems using events.
Oh, wow.
Help them make money and do product launches and things like that. So I kind of went from job to job, and here I am 21 years later still doing it.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic. Well, speaking of all that, since you kind of came in by accident, what do you think about our industry and in terms of education and what we're doing for our industry?
Well, in the time that I've been in the industry, we've come leaps and bounds. There used to be nothing. There used to be no education, very little. And what education there was used to be all design focused. As far as making centerpieces and things like that, not like designing a whole event.
Right.
But I think we've come so far now. People understand how to do business, strategy, marketing, social media. We're coming a long way. But I think education is the primary thing that we need to focus on. Back in the day, there wasn't a lot of education like we have today, so I'm really glad about that. You could not get a degree in event planning or any other things like you can today,
Yes.
which is amazing. We need to do better. We need to educate the public. We need to educate each other and lift and elevate the perception of who we are, what we do, and what we're worth.
Right.
A lot of people watch TV and those kinds of things and get the wrong idea sometimes of what the industry is.
Yeah.
And the only way we can change that is through education, both internally and to the public.
Absolutely. I think that's why iWeb, what they're doing is so important in working with professionals such as yourself and getting the message out there. Well, in our respective field, then how do you feel that you're helping others or how you're contributing in what you know?
Well, I hope I am. I love to teach classes personally. I teach a lot of classes on the business side of events.
Okay.
How to be successful but also have a balanced life, because you've got to create that and do it from the beginning,
Right.
or else you're going to end up very successful and very busy and have no life. So I'm very passionate about that. Our company, I think, is kind of, I hope, somewhat of a beacon of information, showing people how they can really have a successful business, have a balanced life, have a great team, work with great clients, only work with perfect clients. And so those kinds of things are subjects that we're really passionate about teaching and sharing with anybody. And me particularly, I'm happy to share anything. I will share my budgets, my contracts, my personal information.
Oh, wow.
And I think that we need to come to that point where we're educating that way.
Right.
That's the only way to learn.
Absolutely. And so many new planners out there are looking for that type of mentorship. So that's great that you're willing to help others. And since we're at the special event show here in Nashville, have you had a chance to take a walk around? And do you have any advice for any new planners or existing planners that are coming into the show?
Yes, I have looked around. I have been everywhere. This is my 12th or 13th year at the show.
Wow.
It's great. My advice is always to, number one, come.
Okay.
Number two, go to classes. Don't just come for the pretty. The pretty is wonderful. You need to see that too.
Right.
But you've got to learn something. Don't sit on your devices all day long. Talk to people around you.
Absolutely.
Meet people, start up conversations with people that you don't know. Those are some of my best friends in the industry have come from those conversations at the special event.
Wow, yes.
Yes, and really ask questions. Go to classes and ask questions, get mentored, sign up for classes outside of the special event if companies like ours offer them.
Yeah.
It's really important to continue that education throughout the year. So I would definitely say take advantage of the education. Come for the pretty, but stay for the education.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit about your vendors and suppliers and how important it is to build a relationship with these people.
Oh, it's essential. I don't myself. I don't design. I don't create centerpieces or any of the pretty things. I don't cook food. I don't deliver things. I don't rent things. I don't have a warehouse full of stuff. I rely on my vendors for everything for the event. I sell the job. I work with the client, but then I turn to my vendors for their professionality. I depend on them to come to me with all the ideas.
Absolutely.
So they create the event really once we give them the strategy. So our relationship is paramount to the success of every event and to our success of ultimately our company.
Right.
So we treat our vendors well, we pay them well, we don't nickel and dime them, we work on their behalf to the client on the front end to make sure that they're getting paid what they need. We make sure that the event is well run and really fun to be at. We feed them.
Oh, that's always good.
And we keep them happy because without them, we don't have an event.
Right.
So for us, it's a paramount. And we know each other well enough. Lots of vendors I work with all over the world, they've worked with us many times. They know what we like, what we don't like. And that just relieves stress and problems later. So very, very important to build those relationships.
Well, wonderful. Tami, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you taking the time. To learn more about Tami and her company, please visit www.forteevents.com.